Good morning everybody, welcome back. My name is Lynn and I'm Pretty Papercrafts 67. Today I am going to be making a one sheet journal. Julie from Camelia Crafts Designs has this video up on her channel, and I was having a quick look through her channel the other day and I think it's such a sweet little project. The cover and the inside pockets are all made with one sheet of 12 by 12 scrapbooking paper, and yeah, it's quite a simple process, a little bit of scoring and a little bit of folding, but yeah, it's just a cute little junk journal or notebook that you can stick inside a pocket in your journal, or just have it as a little, notebook or reflection book. And it can be as elaborate or as plain as you like it to be. So you've got a pocket on the inside cover. On both inside covers is a pocket. And yeah, this one here, when I created this one, I did make a mistake with the scoring. So the one we're going to do today will be the right measurements, and it's an inch taller. But I still think that's a really sweet little size. And I've just put 10 sheets of assorted coffee stained paper and bits and pieces in this one, and I've just sewn it in the middle with a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. So I'm going to attempt to do that again today, not my strong point. But yeah, like I said, you can have it plain like this, or you can decorate it all through. It's nice and solid because there's so many layers from the one sheet all sort of bound together, so it's a nice solid cover. And then yeah, I've just decorated with some Tim Holtz and things, and I've used a Kaiser Craft scrapbooking paper. And so I just thought, yep, let's get on and just make one together. So I have chosen I've got 10 pages of assorted papers here that we'll get to in a little while. But first of all, I've just picked a 12 by 12 piece of scrapbooking paper, and I have taken off that branding strip. Now with this project, if you care about direction, then don't use a directional paper. This one is all sort of all over the place, and that one there is just like a wallpaper sort of effect, so it could go either way. All right, so the measurements to create this little cover are a 12 by 12 piece of scrapbooking paper, double-sided. And what we're going to do is we're going to score on either end 1 inch in. So 1 inch down from that side, and I think I've missed the mark on that. 1 inch down there, and no, I'll start again. Half an inch, sorry, so half an inch on either side. So then that's scored here at 11.5, and this one here is a half an inch. Then we want to sort of turn it to the right. I think it is we'll turn it. No, let's go back to this way. So you've got a half an inch and a half an inch. Now right through the middle we want to create our center, and I'm going to create a little bit of a gusset so that it sort of gives me some room to sew my signature in. And for that I'm going to score it at 5 7/8, 6 inches, and 6 1/8. So it's 3 scores, a half an inch in between each one. Now I don't know if that's coming up, if you can see those score lines or not, but 5 7/8, 6 and 6 1/8. So now we will turn it. Now we're going to create our pocket and our fold down from the top. So now we want to score it again at the bottom edge, half an inch. So half an inch in. Then we're going to score it again at 3 inches. And then we are going to score it at 8.5. And this is where I made my mistake last time. I scored it at 7.5, but 8.5. So I'll run through those again with you. So when we first put it into our scoreboard, or however you're going to score, you want to score a half an inch on this side and a half an inch on this side. And then in the middle, we're going to score at 5 7/8, 6 inches and 6 1/8 inches. Then we're going to turn it this way. Again, we're going to score a 1/2 inch. Then we're going to come up to 3 inches, and then we're going to come all the way over to 8.5 inches. So I will put those measurements down in the description box. All right, so now we are simply, just for the moment, we're just going to fold along all these score marks just so that they become a little bit more prominent. So like that sort of thing. And then we're going to score, fold up the bottom pocket, just like that. We're going to fold down the top, just like that, and that just tucks in behind there, like so. And then we're going to just fold it over. Now I'm going to try and fold it on that middle score line, but it doesn't matter. All we're looking for is that bit of a gusset there, and the score marks on either side of the center will help to hold that little sort of U shape open, just like that kind of thing. All right, so that's that's pretty much it complete, but it's a little bulky. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open it all back up, and I'm just going to miter these bottom corners away just to take out some of that bulk. And the same over on this corner as well. Like that. And then where the score marks meet this section here, where they come right to the end and you've got your 1/2 inch score mark down, I'm just going to cut a little V out of those sections all the way around, just so that it takes away some of that bulk. Just like that. And I'll turn it to this side as well. And we'll go like that. And we'll go like that on that one as well. All right. So that's as simple as it gets. And now just these little 1 inch flaps, they're basically there to for durability for your cover, just to strengthen them a little bit. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go along on each little flap, and I'm basically just going to apply a bit of glue, and I'm going to fold them down on themselves. So I'm just going to do that. And I'm going to do that all the way around. I'm going to do this big one here. Just fold that one down on itself. And then we'll come along to these as well and do this side here. Doesn't have to be a lot of glue. Just enough to hold it in place. All right, so that's what we've got now. Now with mine, I did sew around the edge of the cover, and I did sew along the pocket. So if you wanted to sew, that now would be the time to do it. But just for the video, I won't sew today. So if I was sewing, I would sew all the way along here, and then I would sew around the whole perimeter. Although no, I would probably wait until I've folded it together to sew the whole perimeter. But definitely, if I was sewing today, I would sew along that line there. So now what we want to do is this top flap here where we've scored at 8.5, we're going to fold that over like that, and we are going to glue that down. So I'll just quickly do that. And that just gives it nice strength and durability, so the paper won't be all, won't get damaged as you're working in your little journal. So I'm just going to fold that over. Oh, just give that a bit of a burnish, like that. and then your pocket comes up, and then we fold it over. Now it is a little bulky, but you know, you expect a journal to be bulky, not too bulky that it can't fit into a pocket, or it's a nice little journal to work with. When it's all glued together, and in my case sewn, it does sit nice and tight. So now what we're going to do, because I'm not sewing for the video, I'm just going to close these pockets up. So just a little bit of glue just along the edges of that bottom flap, like that. And then I'm just going to bring that up and just hold it in place there for a couple of seconds until it grabs. And that's pretty much it for the gluing. Now that is out just a little bit, but look, I'm not going to be too worried about it. It's just manipulating the paper a little better. All right, so there's our little journal cover. You've got your 2 center pockets. When that glue dries, that would be a bit easier. Now, if I had have sewn along there, you would have been able to distinctly see the pocket. A bit of ink would probably do much the same. I should have thought about that before I closed it up. But yeah, just a bit of ink along there just to define the edge of that pocket against the backing part of the cover. Just like that. That just kind of gives it a little bit of definition. I will ink everything when I'm completed. All right, so that's our little cover done. And now we're just going to sew in a bit of a signature. So I've just got some random pieces of paper, coffee stained paper. Some of this is from Sue from Paper Inspirations. It came in the mystery box for May, and I'm just going to fold it all in half as you would for a signature. And I have got 10 sheets here, so some of these will be smaller than others, but I don't think that matters too much. I will have to rip them down to fit inside, but just at this stage I'm just folding them all in half. And then I've just got 5 sheets of printer paper that I've just ink dyed with some Tim Holtz Distress Oxide ink. So I'm just quickly going to fold all of these down, and then we'll measure them against the cover, and then we'll sort of size them up to suit. Like that and like that. All right, so what I'm going to simply do is bring that in. Oh, that hasn't glued at all. I might need a little bit more glue there. So I'm going to just bring them in and size them up against the cover. And just, I'm going to just tear them to size, really. So I want to sort of measure along that middle score line, because that's where I'm going to be sewing them in. And I'm just going to just take off the bottom edge, just inside, keeping it just inside the cover. That's really difficult to see, isn't it? So I'll close it up. It might be easier if we do it this way. Alright, so I'm just using the grid lines on my mat to kind of keep me a little bit straight. I'm just going to do that, and I'm just again going to level up those grid lines just so that I can sort of see where my cover is, and then tear my paper to suit. Just that sort of thing. So that should fit nicely just inside there. It might hang out a little bit, but I'm not too worried about that. So now all I'm going to do is use that one piece of paper just to tear the rest of my pages. Now, if you wanted, you could cut them on your cutter, but for me, I think it's just as easy. I will probably need to trim those edges down a bit. But again, if it's a rustic style, vintage style, if it's a little rough on the edges, again, I don't think that matters too much. That one there is hanging over just a touch too much, so I'm just going to trim that back just a bit like that. Okay, so this is the tedious part, or not really, it's just a process that you have to do. A bit of that, and then this side here. It's not straight. I'm just trying to keep them as close to the measurements, well, not the measurements, but the size of that original page as I can. And then we've got one more here, so again, just leveling it up on that edge like that. And then I'll just tear away that bit there, tear away that bit there. And now we've got some book page. So now the pages start to get a bit smaller, so that's always helpful. So we've got one there. And we've got another one there. And then these ones probably won't really need much at all. Maybe just a tiny touch. I'll just cut this one down along that line there. And they are different sizes, but I don't mind that staggered look. That one is a bit big, so I'll just tear the bottom off of this one here. And then we've got this one, and again, I'll just tear a bit of the bottom off this one here. All right, so that is our papers done for our signature, and that they hang out a little bit on the edge, but I really don't mind that. I am needing to put a little bit more glue down here because that's just not sticking. Hopefully that will stay in place. And how's this one's much the same. So a little bit more glue. And I'll just use a clip. Just use a clip to clip that in, give that a minute. All right, so now we're just going to put it together like you normally would a signature. Pick which page you want for your middle. I like that one better. And then I'm just going to sort of stagger the pages and pop them all together, just like you would on any ordinary signature. And I'm sort of going to do one larger one and one smaller one. If you had book pages or floral pages, Edith Holden would look really nice in these little ones. Anything that you would normally use in a junk journal. I'll put that one in there. And we've got this one here. And that one and that one. Now I'm pretty sure I've got 10. I didn't even count. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, we've got 11. Oh, well, that doesn't matter. All right, so now we're just going to attempt, not my strong suit, sewing in a signature. It does make me very nervous, but when they are thin like this, I do have better hope. So I've got my book binding kit here. I have already threaded my needle with the wax linen thread, and I've got my awl, that in case I need it. All right, so as we do in all signature sewing, you want to come to your center page, and I'm just going to sort of tighten those as well as I can and level it up with the center of the signature, and I'm just going to clip it there, and I'm going to clip it there like that. Just kind of keeping that in. All right, and so we're just going to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. That is a little crooked, but again, I'm not going to get hung up about that because that's the way it goes sometimes. All right, so I'm going to take my awl, and I'm just going to punch my first hole. Now, I probably bind a little bit unorthodox. I don't punch 3 holes and then thread. I punch 1 hole at a time because it tends to sort of help me to keep it all together. So I'm just going to do that. I'm also just going to clip my little bit of thread down the bottom there on that so I won't pull it through. So that's the center. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to punch a hole up the top here, about like that. Oh, I was way off on that. And then I'm going to bring that back through. So that should actually be more there. So I'm going to redo that. So it comes out more into that spine. Now, in the event of that, you could always cover over that spine area with something. But I'll just probably put a bit of ink down. All right, so that's 1, 2. Then we're going to come back and punch the 3rd hole about the same area from top to there, from there to there, about like that, making sure it goes through the spine section. Bring that back through. Now this is the part that trips me up a lot. So now we want to bring it back through this middle hole here, and hopefully it'll just work. And just bring it through like that. Now this is where I always need to use my pliers. Okay, now we want 1 string on one side of that center and we want a string on the other, which we've got. And I'm basically just going to tie a double knot, keeping it nice and tight. Nice and tight. Oh yeah, I am a bit off on that spine. Like that. And then I'm just going to cut those 2 tails to length. Like that. All right, now I am a little bit off, but you know, I will cover that over. Ink will cover a lot of it. And so there we have it. It's simple and easy, a little journal, pockets in the front. You've got all your papers that you can decorate or leave as plain for journaling. Some hand stamping would be really cute. Isn't it lovely? So simple, so easy, made with one sheet of 12 by 12 paper, and then whatever papers you want to collect inside for your signatures. So there you go. So it's all in there very nicely. And even though I did muck up that binding a bit, you can see I'm a bit over. I don't think it matters. This one is better. It's nice and straight. But see the difference? So this one I scored at 7.5 instead of 8.5. So it's that ½ an inch shorter, but still a nice little journal. I'm just going to put a bit of ink down that spine. Knowing me, I'll end up covering it over. All right, so there you go. Just a real simple, easy little project, something a little different. I'm making a new ephemera bundle, so this little journal will go with these 2 little pockets that I've created. And I just think it's something a little bit of fun. Decorate it however you like. And those pockets really give a lot of room to... I've got quite an assortment of little bits and pieces, still not finished, but all of those go in there, and I've still got heaps more room. So they are a really good size pocket on either end. All right, so there you go. Julie from Camelia Crafts Design, and she calls it the One Sheet Journal. I will link Julie's video down below. I will put the measurements down below in case you want to give it a try. And yeah, this is inspired by the next video in the Inspired By series. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Stay safe and well, and I'll see you all again soon. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.